Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are with Olwam Mwazi. I'm sitting here with the legend, the legendary Bantu Holomisa. And I wanted to ask one thing first, but I hope he's going to be flattered by it, that I know that it's his birthday on the 27th of September.
25th of July.
25th of July, but UDM was established on the 27th of
Oh,
September.
okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So these dates are closely linked. Right now, Unjengele will be turning 68 in July, in a few days' time, next on Tuesday. Unjengele, how are you, sir? How are you, Dada? How are you, Awango Kelly? And how have you been?
Thanks, first of all, for having me in your studios. I'm looking forward to engage you. And otherwise, I'm okay. I had just had a wonderful session with the clergy inside the hall. And it was inspiring to hear from them that there are certain things which are not going according to the well-known ethical standards in the country.
Thank you so much. Are you celebrating your birthday?
No, I'm not celebrating my birthday. I think I'll be on the road. I'm too busy for that.
I must say that I feel bad because I was here for most of the conversation, and I know you should be tired by now, and I'm still putting you through more grilling questions. But I thought that we might not have another chance where, as young people, as the emerging leadership of the country, that we can get maybe to ukuthiwa sibambe ingubo nomqukumbelo wengubo zakhe, if I let you go today. But I do want to find out ukuthi utata uBantu uyarelate negama elinguBantu biko, since you share the name.
Asinabudlelwane.
Yes, nditsho ukuthi akukho nalaa uba mhlawumbi uSteve Biko, we share the name or something.
No,
Has
no,
anyone
no.
ever? Because I know that I think he's 10 years, should have been 10 years older than you.
He's a legend in his own right,
In
and
his own
his philosophy is well documented.
Yes.
And we are talking here about an icon.
Yes, no one was here.
I'm just a poor
I
non-entity.
doubt. I'm going to tell you, Guti, Unjengele, and I've been listening, this name, this title is not going away, is
Yes.
it? And noba ngathi no, I'm president ye-UDM, noba kuthiwe sicela ube president athi hayi ndiyi-leader, kuthiwe Njengele. Sithini eligama? Are you happy when people still call you Unjengele, or General Bantu Holomisa, even though you have evolved into the political space in South Africa?
I-military kaloku is a profession ngokwayo yona nje. So xa ngaba wenze ii-courses phaa promotwa waya kwi-level yobu-major general, lieutenant general, general. So ngesixhosa kwabo bantu ke kuthiwa ziinjengele ezo. So asikwazi ke ukuhlukana nayo. Ifana naxa kuthiwa wenze ubugqirha ungudoctor or academically ungudoctor. So i-profession le military. Even the management skills as apply in any institution. I-basics zazo zitsalwa kwi-military management. That is why, for instance, kulucha these days, when I see some people calling themselves or want to be councillors, members of parliament, professionals, you are able to detect what this person didn't do his or her homework properly.
Yes.
And that before he came to conclusions, whatever he's having, he didn't consider all the factors.
Yes.
And then those factors then will lead you to say, this is my plan to execute the task I've been given, whether you are a minister, you are a DG, or umfundisi. But once you are given an assignment, then you must now have your own plan to execute that and attach time frames, but you need to, first of all, scan the environment you are to operate in and make sure that you are uzijonge zonke ezi ntoni. So similarly, military, if you have been given a target to go and take out a certain post, kuthiwa nantsi enemy position there, awuvele uye phaa okanye uvele uthi hayi ndiyakhona. Uqala ubale kuqala, ubehave as if uyangulaa mntu, le nto kuthiwa i-devil's advocate. Uyijonge ke ngokuba xa indim ndizazidifenda njani, ndingambetha njani. So i-planning ke leyo, noba uthi ngoku uqala ibhizinesi yakho, kokuqala uzawuba nale capital uzayinikwa. Do you have a cash book? Do you have a ledger? Uyayazi trial balance, and so on and so on. If awuyazi, ubani umuntu onokucoach okanye umqeshe okanye voluntary akwenzele lo msebenzi, ukwenzela uba kule ndawo ufumana kuyo imali yokuqala le nto, ungathi usawuyifumana ngokufumanisa uba xa kuthiwa accounta awuyazi bibheke phi.
That's exactly where we need to be in this conversation, Njengele. Ngalamava, lolu lwazi, and the tactics of as ingokheli ezisakhulayo, ezincinci nezindala, maybe they're new in a position, zindoni ezizinto ogxila kuzo ukwenza sure ukuthi le position that you've been entrusted with, it is done with excellence. And approach yakho as someone who has a military background, how much of that has filtered through UDM?
Indincedile loo nto, even the time singena kwi-government, military government, go-87. When we made our own appreciation, we came to a conclusion as military officers that we are not going to speak the language yase-Pretoria, a national party.
Yes.
Hence, started the decision that we must collaborate in the liberation movements. And kuzo zonke task abasinika zona, or Christian bekwi-exile, or Sama Pama Samelo Pama bese Tanzania kwi-PAC. We carried as operations nemisebenzi ababecela sibatrainele abantu kakuhle, because everybody understood the mission. Wayitolika kakuhle. Into ebetha abantu abaninzi kukuvuma xa umnika i-assignment angabuzi questions, ayehle aqonda uba iza kwenziwa kanjani uba ndiphuma ngolu hlobo, okanye athi sele inikwe ahambe afeyile to come back to kulo mntu okanye kulo committee uba bekugqitywe ngolu hlobo. One of the reasons which I had a good understanding noMadiba, into yoba xa ndinike i-assignment bendimbuza questions before ndihambe ndiqiniseke. Then I go and make an appreciation of that task, uba ndizayi-executa kanjani. Then I will keep him informed all the time. So it's the same thing apha kwi-UDM. Njengoba ndilapha nje, everybody structures zethu ziyayazi uba ndilapha. Ndizawubuya ndiphindele back eofisini, ndifike ndisubmithe ke ngoku i-report in writing, ndibhale ezi tasks, ezi ngxaki bendizinikwa ngabefundisi. Ndibhalele kumasipala, ndibhalele kwi-premier's office, ndibhalele kwi-president and relevant departments. Ndawugqiba ikopi ndiyibuyisele phi to abefundisi. So it's a report back mechanism into ebalulekileyo. Xa ustuck suba frats phinda ubuyele kulaa mntu uthi man andikwazi udlula apha kukho le ngxaki ngawundiclarifere any point.
Yes. Ndizayibhala phantsi leyo. Izawuba yinto that I attribute to Njengele as some base theory, the masterclass of leadership ka Njengele Bantu Holomisa. On the question of name, Bantu Bonke, I see that name in the vision UDM about the unity of the South African people. Was that intentional? Is it a case of you showing up, even if...
But of course, you know,
Yes.
the word UDM,
United Democratic
I mean, the name UDM,
Yes.
United Democratic Movement.
Yes.
The name UDM stands for United Democratic Movement. Therefore, that's why we are saying to the ruling party, stop being partisan. your approach should be non-partisan in a number of issues because you're not working there for yourself and your party members. Membership of the ANC card-carrying members, they don't even have 1 million, but they get votes from about 25 or 10 million people. So the psyche yabo, ebefama kabengene officing, bayazi ba, they are serving even people who are not card-carrying members.
Yes.
So when you fill a post, you are able to recruit to anyone on a scale, umse position. Into ebalulekileyo i-results zithini, uyawazi umsebenzi lo muntu, but if uza fixated uba uzolwela abalungu eparty yakho, then you have abused the rest of the voters who are not your members, but who voted for you ngenxa betrust okanye bethanda ipolicy zabo. So i-UDM ke yiyona ke le nto nangoku bendithetha apha, ndithi apha kukho abantu befundisa abavotela i-ANC neminye imibutho, but ke ngoku masivane that there are problems in the country.
Yes.
And this is what I suggest to solve them.
After all these years, since 1997, the establishment of the United Democratic Front,
Democratic movement.
Democratic Movement. I was actually going to be one of the questions because when you, UTF, UTM, was there a strategic coalition at the time?
No, not at all.
Or just an independent thinking? Okay. But after all these years, I'm sure amakhala abantu ngabantu kwindawo ngendawo balapha eMzantsi Afrika bawabeka pha kuwe. And umthwalo lo, it's a heavy load. And I wonder, what does a leader do with all of this? It's a psychological, a mental, and a spiritual and emotional, I would say, baggage or luggage.
Well,
How do you
I don't even feel it because it's like a daily bread to me. This is work I'm doing every day.
Yes.
If I'm invited by by a certain group in a certain area, I avail myself or send our members there. The ebalulekileyo is to write down all those problems and send a letter to the relevant authorities. Once the relevant authorities acknowledge receipt okanye bathi bayaresponda, then you inform abantu bekuthumela. It's in my veins. Andisenayo enye into.
You know that came over experience because of this method?
I-training endikhule kuyo kokuqala ndingumntana komkhulu.
Yes.
Ikomkhulu eli kungena wonke umuntu ekhaya komkhulu. Tata kayinembizo bekungena abaphuwa nabangekophuwa. But kubanceda. So ndikhulela kula environment. Ndaphinda ke ndawutrainwa, ndawufunda eJongilizwe College for Sons of Chiefs. Nalapho we trained indaba ze leadership. Phinde phuma kwami ndawungena emkhosini, weske emkhosini because you are taught ngento ye planning cycle yakho. If uvuka endlini yakho ekuseni, qala uyaphi uyoxukuxa uyahlamba. Gqiba kwakho apho ondlula ibhedi yakho. Phuma kwakho apha uyanxiba uhambe. Before uhambe uyachekisha uba akho nto zilaya phansi na ufake emgqomeni. Ngaphandle apha eyadini yakho akho maphepha na. And then uhambe ke. Now that means you inculcate a culture of ownership at the early stages. Now problem esinayo ngoku. Thina we're fortunate because saya kwi-defense, satrainwa kwi-defense. Now there's a lack of patriotism kwi-youth ye-South Africa today. That's why ufumanisa uba noba kufika i-authorities baske mhlambe basijule ngamatye bengekabeki nengxaki yabo. Kuthiwa amapolisa ezile. Once ke ngoku so etha namapolisa neeveni zawo ikhona ingxaki ka.
Yes. Only because of time, because all of these points, I would really like to take them further because there's so much that you're laying for us on each of these. Where do we train the next leadership in the country? Bafunda phi? Zifunda phi ngokheli zethu? because they don't go to Mkosini, they don't go to royal schools, they don't go to a place where they are inculcated this discipline and this psyche of being a.
Now, this thing has to be looked holistically. Look at the syllabus at the schools. Do we need things like cadets, scouts, zaya phi, girl guides, zaya kuphi, all those things. And also the easiest now is to encourage sport at school level. At least people must be busy. So these boys, when the school is closed, they go back home, sometimes bayodlula ezibhotini batshintshe uniform, bayosela utywala. That's why dropout, the rate is too high. So there is a need, therefore, to debate nationally what kind of patriotic lessons must be implanted into our kids. So, unfortunately, currently, we don't seem to be having leadership at political level, which is concerned about that. They are more concerned about who's going to get a tender. Am I going to be a councillor? Am I going to be a member of parliament? Unfortunately for them, but for me, I thank those who assisted me and nurtured me to go to the route I've followed, that of leading. I mean, look at the UDM, good example. We didn't have resources. And then it was worse when there was a floor crossing. They bribed our MPs and so on. So we had to start from scratch to build a human resource. But now you can see these young boys, because I focused on them. I didn't want to go and waste time to recruiter, ANC
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
But I'm happy, the Kwankwas of this world, my deputy president, the current secretary general is,
Yes.
yes, is 25 years old. So this is the kind of the training and khulele kuyo. I mean, if I was head of state, as I was a head of state in Transkei or head of government in Transkei, I was 32 years old. But I had already, I had to use what I was exposed to. Quality training in the military, good education at Jongliswe College for Sons of Chiefs. When I finished my matric in 1975, together with my colleagues, those who passed grade 12, you went out with 2 certificates. Ordinary certificate for standard 10 or grade 12 these days, and another certificate for leadership. In the leadership courses, we were taught conduct of public affairs, current affairs, introduction to public admin, African law, the typing, so that when you phuma esikolweni,
Yes.
we're independent.
Yes.
And also introduction to trial balance, accounting,
bookkeeping, yes.
bookkeeping, and so on. It is for that reason that in 2001, we joined, I joined 2 or 3 people where we established or we produced or we printed tons and tons of study guides for maths, accounting, and English. The aim was to produce more black chartered accountants. That project's name is called Tutuka. It was managed by SAICA, South African
Yes.
Institute of Chartered Accountants.
With Upodlwane
Yes,
leading
today that project produced more than 2,000 qualified chartered accountants, because those study guides we provided them at grade 9, 10, 11, 12. So those who couldn't go proceed to a university, they still have that background. If they want to start their own business, he or she knows what he should do.
If I can just shock you as well, my wife is a beneficiary of Itutuka
Tutu,
program. I've led is a lot of grade 11s and grade 12s. Itutuka is a camp leader with Abu Pudluando, Patom, and those people. It's a remarkable sort of story that is cascaded into what it is today. But we expect, I suppose, hearing everything that I'm hearing, a leadership course, a leadership manual. Can we expect that from UDM, informed by the experiences of a president?
Well, it's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I must sell that idea to
Yes.
our structures. Possibly it would serve as a way, not necessarily political education,
It's a grounding
but it's more
document,
about
yes.
if you are on your own, why don't we change this attitude after you have finished school? That of wanting to go and look for a job.
Yes.
Instead, you should be empowered to make sure that you start being called a wealth creator.
Yes.
Then you are going to create jobs. For us to depend on white-owned companies, so sawulinda kuze kubuye uyesu okamsholozi. Because
Siyabulela kakhulu upresident we-UDM, uGeneral Njengele Bantu Holomisa. We have seen him at TV, we have seen him standing alone, and I want to ask this question. This is the second last question about the cost of truth, the cost of standing for truth in the political life as it is.
well, some pundits would say Holomisa would never have many members because he speaks too much truth. Well, I think they are correct, but it has we have managed to survive as UDM without depending on any big business for our survival. So how we have managed to be that today this year we're going to celebrate 26th anniversary without having a financial muscle or being controlled by a certain business group of people. I'm proud about that because we just apply a common sense. Because when you are in a limbo alone, you have to apply tactics of survival and also still continue with the mission.
The last question. We are going towards the elections and we have people thinking and talking. Everyone is talking, but it's funukuva unjengela ucinga ntoni the next 10 years in South Africa. What should we be doing in the next 10 years?
Firstly, as from next year, we must make sure that we will no longer put all our eggs in one basket. One-party states or one-party dominance breeds corruption. We've experienced it in the last 29 years inside South Africa, whereas before we saw it in other independent countries in Africa. We thought it would never come here, but it would appear that we were led by sophisticated people. Why on earth would you allow a political party to come up with a scheme to rob the taxpayers? That thing of Bosasa, I will never forgive ANC for that. For them to take the government money and take it to their head office, renting stadiums for say Ngoba rallies, for their congresses, and they boast that they have got money, yet they have stolen it. So, salute.
Enkosi kakhulu Njengele. Truly an honor to meet you. Truly an
Thank
honor
you.
to talk to you. Thank you.